are you? Not your job, not your family status, not the 3 adjectives in your bio. I mean the secret you. The music in your car when it's just you. The clothes you wear when nobody would see them. The things you used to love before anybody was watching you love things. Now try answering with only that. Scary how little is left, right? Most of what you call your personality was installed by other people. So today, the test that finds out what parts are actually you. And I took it first. And not everything survived. Because the separation is harder than it sounds. What you actually like versus what you learned to like. What feels natural versus what seemed convincing when you saw another person doing that. Let me guess, your phone or Pinterest is full of images of a life you don't even want to lead. Your drink order used to belong to some guy cooler than you. There is an opinion you've repeated so many times that you forgot it was borrowed, and you would probably even defend it in a fight. And meanwhile, the realist version of you is at home at 1 a.m. watching some obscure video essay about a word you can't even pronounce, is vibing to music nobody knows you're listening to, and sees themselves in worlds you would never describe to another person. That one, where does that one go all day? That one waits. Because daytime belongs to the costumes. If you're even a little self-aware, and I know you are, then you know that you don't have one personality. Personality is plural. You run versions of yourself. The work version, the family version, the friend group 1 version, the friend group 3 version. Different volume, different posture, and even different vocabulary. And you know this because of what happens when the versions collide. Like imagine you are personality 3 and you are walking in friend group 1 and they think, yo, what's up with you? Did you eat a clown for breakfast? And everyone does that. Wearing costumes is human. Actors do it. Your grandma does it. And it's mostly fine. The problem sits 1 level deeper. When every single costume is like a patchwork assembled from different people. A borrowed accent from this podcast because it kind of sounds intellectual. Or this one girl that did this thing with her hair that you saw in the park in 2019 and you can't forget about it. Or a sense of humor that is basically a compilation of all your exes. Costumes all the way down, and your 1 a.m. person is none of them. Identity is just a social cosplay at this point. And for many people, it is not a problem. But for some, it feels suffocating to stuff yourself in a costume every day where you don't know where it comes from, but you also don't know what else apart from being naked. And we don't want that, so we'd rather put on a costume. And I get how this happens because we didn't choose it. We didn't wake up one day and decide to be a diluted version of another person that we admired before. And it happens in tiny edits. You're told what to wear, what to care, what to eat, how to be, which version of you is the best, in which colors you look the best. And every recommendation tells you what you need to do in the next 90 days so you can glow up, look max, identity max, so that you finally become a harmless, digestible part of the streamlined, normie, mainstream society. And the algorithm knows your weak points better than you. So it will stuff it with mainstream And there is an easy test whether you have been corrupted by mainstream society or whether it's truly yours. Would you still do this thing if you were completely alone? That one question. Nobody will ever know. You will not talk to anybody about it. Maybe out of curiosity, you will try it one time. But would you continue doing that if you were totally on your own? When I thought about it, for me, the answer was clear about one whole category. I would have never spent my evenings and weekends watching those iconic US series. Family Guy, The Simpsons, Breaking Bad, Futurama, Rick and Morty. I'm not saying they're bad. My ex loved them. Apparently, the whole internet loves them. So I also spent hours and hours watching them. They were enjoyable. But would I sit down today alone, open Adult Swim, and immerse myself in the world of BoJack Horseman? No, it's just not me. And another trap I fell in: skinny jeans. And I think we all fell into the trap, right? Tell me that I'm not the only one. By the way, psychology observed that over 100 years ago and gave it a beautiful name: the looking glass self. You never see yourself directly. You see yourself through your guess of how another person sees you. In other words, what you are imagining another person is thinking about you, how they judge you, that is how you judge yourself. A guess, imagination. Your entire personality is tailored around a guess. So let's test that, and let's do that with the most suspicious person in the room, because I am the last person on this platform who is allowed to skip this test. I built my personality with purpose. You're seeing it here. And I kind of always looked funny and colorful. And when people meet me, they either think, wow, she is a woman who knows what she likes and who she is. Or, ja, ist denn heute schon Karneval? Ist das ein Kostüm oder was? Is that so? How do I know that my rebel self is real? How do I know that this isn't just another costume that I'm wearing? And the test, what is the real you, gets sharper the more you rewind. What survives from before an audience existed for you? Story time. I'm 8 years old and I live in a small village far north in Germany. I could even walk into Denmark. No internet. And it's Saturday, 8 a.m. The adults are asleep. I'm sitting on the carpet close to the TV and I'm eating Fruit Loops straight from the box. Macht der Mondnebel! Macht auf! Sailor Moon. Every single week I must watch the show. And then, whoa! I have a great idea. I will invent 100 own Sailor Guardians and I will draw them all. 100 more friends for Sailor Moon. Sailor Earth, Sailor Car, Sailor TV, Sailor Grass, Sailor Turtle. And for days I carry my pencils from the living room to the garden, to the greenhouse, to the garage. And I draw and draw and draw so many Sailor girls that nobody will ever see, that nobody will judge or grade, and I finish a whole 100. Now look what's inside that little scene. There are no likes, no grades. Nobody will ever see those images, and I didn't care. I was just on my own in my little world, my undiluted self. And if you ever want to know what is really yours, start there. And when I hold today's me against that kid, I passed the test. She would recognize me. The 8-year-old with her bedroom full of Sailor Moon magazine posters would lose her mind over my outfit. She would love that I unapologetically live my life. I have challenges and highlights like Sailor Moon, and I help other people doing the same. I wonder what kind of choices she would have made in her life if she knew that becoming an adult could also look like that and not like the drama and trauma at home. So whatever traces back to her is mine. And everything else is installed or borrowed until proven otherwise. Now, the standard advice right now would be just be yourself, but that is lazy advice because it assumes that you have uninterrupted access to who you really are, and you haven't. There is a whole version of you that purely exists as a reaction to how people told you to be. So before you can be yourself, you have to find out which parts even qualify. So don't add anything, check the receipts. Take one thing where you are kind of sure that this is you. Your job, your hairstyle, your hobby, whatever, and trace it. When did it actually enter your life? If the trail ends at a person you were trying to impress or a comment or event that hurt you, this is not you. This is just a reflection of the looking glass self. But if the trail ends at a younger version of you, doing that thing alone for free, keep it. Or the trail ends with an older version of you that has a profound experience, tragic or beautiful, something life-changing, and afterwards you started being that self, then that is also so you. Keep it. And all the borrowed and installed stuff, you don't have to burn it. Keep it. Keep the haircut. Keep the hobby. Keep that opinion if it feels right. You could just allow yourself to be a little more open about the other possibilities that are also existing at the same time. Fair warning though, when you stop mirroring, you don't just get a new identity delivered at the doorstep the next day. You get space. And in that space, in the corner, there might be shadows creeping up because most of our costumes weren't picked for fun. They were picked on bad days. As an example, take my Fringe. In 5th grade, after PE in the shower, there was a girl that looked at me and said, "Ha, you look like Otto Walkes." And he is an older comedian who had a very receding hairline back then, and I have a high forehead. I still remember so many years later how humiliated and embarrassed I felt that day. I shut down in the shower and went home and cried, and ever since I have a fringe. Should I get rid of it? No, at least not now, because I do like it. But it has a sad origin story, and sometimes I wonder, how can people who have a high forehead so bravely walk outside without a fringe? How does it feel to have the wind blowing your forehead? But it's okay. Stay in that place, because not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, and staying in that feeling might be the most honest thing you can do for yourself. Because the 1 a.m. personality needs exactly that empty space to come upstairs. So one more time. Who are you when no one's watching? And don't answer me. Don't answer aloud. Just make sure when no one's watching, somebody is actually home and there is space. And if you want to give me something in your comments, give me this. What passes your test? One thing the kid version of you would still be doing today for free when no one's watching. I want to see the rebel in you. And if this video made you suspicious of your personality, that is good. Because I made another one where I realized that my whole self is actually like a protective armor. It's like the bigger sister of this one. And I will see you there.